Sonia again, and here we are, the third session. And I know in the last session I said I was going to read out some scriptures, so that's what I'm going to do now. So the very first one, I'm going to start with a less favourable one about women, is in chapter 7 of Proverbs. So it starts at verse 6. For at the window of my house I looked through my lattice, and saw among the simple, I perceived among the youths a young man devoid of understanding, passing along the street near the corner, and he took the path to her house in the twilight, in the evening, in the black and dark night. And there a woman met him with the attire of a harlot and a crafty heart. She was loud and rebellious. Her feet would not stay at home. At times she was outside, at times she was in the open square, lurking at every corner. So she caught him and kissed him. With an impudent face she said to him, I have peace offerings with me. Today I have paid my vows. So I came out to meet you. I have spread my bed with tapestry, colourful coverings of Egyptian linen. I have perfume in my bed with myrrh, aloes and cinnamon. Come, let us take our fill of love until the morning. Let us delight ourselves with love, for my husband is not at home. He has gone on a long journey. He has taken a bag of money with him, and will come home on the appointed day. With her enticing speech she causes him to yield. With her flattering lips she seduces him. Immediately he went after her as an ox goes to the slaughter, as a fool to the correction of the stocks, till an arrow struck his liver, as a bird hastens to the snare. He did not know it would cost him his life. So from that extreme, and then we go to the virtuous woman, or the wife of a noble character, meaning her character is noble. Not talking about she's the wife of a man who's noble. It's talking about the wife of who has a noble character. So here we go. The virtuous wife is another way of putting it. This is Proverbs 31 verse 10. Who can find a virtuous wife? For her worth is far above rubies. The heart of her husband safely trusts her, so he will never have no lack of gain. She does him good and not evil all the days of her life, and seeks wool and flax, and willingly works with her hands. She is like the merchant ships. She brings her food from afar. She also rises while it is yet night, and provides food for her household and a portion of her maidservants. She considers a field and buys it. From her profit she plants a vineyard. She girds herself with strength and strengthens her arms. She perceives that her merchandise is good, and her lamp does not go out by night. She stretches out her hands to the distaff, and her hand holds the spindle, and she extends her hand to the poor. Yes, she reaches out her hands to the needy. She is not afraid of snow for her household, for all her household is clothed with scarlet. She makes tapestry for herself. Her clothing is fine linen and purple. Her husband is known in the gates, and when he sits among the elders of the land, she makes linen garments and sells them, and supplies sashes for the merchants. Strength and honour are her clothing. She shall rejoice in the time to come. She opens her mouth with wisdom, and on her tongue is the law of kindness. She watches over the ways of her household, and does not eat the bread of idleness. Her children rise up and call her blessed. Her husband also, and he praises her. Many daughters have done well, but you excel them all. Charm is deceitful, and beauty is passing, But a woman who fears the Lord, she shall be praised. Give her of the fruit of her hands, and let her own works praise her in the gates. So that's the wife of a noble character. And then we go over to 1 Corinthians 6, 19 to 20. So, or do you not know that your body is the temple of the Holy Spirit who is in you, whom you shall have from God, and you are not your own? For you were bought at a price. Therefore glorify God in your body and in your spirit, which are God's mortality. Let each man have his own wife, and let each woman have her own husband. And then there is 1 Peter 3, 1 to 7. So that's over here. So, wives, likewise, be submissive to your own husbands, that even if some do not obey the word, they without a word may be won by the conduct of their wives. When they observe your chaste conduct accompanied by fear. Do not let your adornment be merely outward, arranging the hair, wearing gold, or putting on fine apparel. Rather, let it be the hidden person of the heart, with the incorruptible beauty of a gentle and quiet spirit, which is very precious in the sight of God. For in this matter, in former times, the holy women who trusted in God also adorned themselves, being submissive to their own husbands, as Sarah obeyed Abraham, calling him Lord, whose daughters you are if you do good and are not afraid with any terror. If you do good and are not afraid with any terror. And then we go to Second Timothy 2:24. So starting at verse 24. Second Timothy 2, sorry, no it's not. 2 Timothy 8 to 15. So then I would like the men everywhere to pray, leading clean lives without anger or argument. And the same goes for the women too. I would like the women to dress themselves with good taste and decent clothes, with modesty and good sense, not with ornamentally arranged hair or gold or pearls or very expensive clothing, which is fitting for women while they are giving a convert to Jerusalem, instructions, and which is fitting for women while they are doing good works. A woman must learn, and she is to learn without causing a fuss, and be supportive in everything. I most certainly do not grant authority to a woman to teach that she is the originator of man. Rather, she is not to cause a fuss. For Adam was formed first, then Eve, and Adam was not deceived, but the woman made a mistake, and she was beguiled. And she will be saved by means of the birth of the child, if they continue to be trustworthy and loving and holy and have good sense. So that is it for now. I think they're the verses that I wanted to read. So what I'll talk about this time is where it's really emphasising about how women are to dress and how they're to behave. And first of all, we've got to realise that as women, we have power in the sense that we're of our beauty. And I don't think beauty is something to be underestimated. And men are attracted to women by looking at them. And so therefore beauty is something that's very, very powerful. So when you get it in perspective around respect and loving one another, if a woman has power and she abuses it by being seductive and dressing in a way that leads their men to lust after them, then they're not responsible for the men lusting, not by any means, but they are responsible for the way they dress, which can cause a man to fall into sin. So really it's out of respect for our Christian brothers. That's why it talks about modesty a lot, and it's saying that true beauty is a gentle and quiet spirit. That's precious to the Lord. So that's what the Lord sees as real beauty. And it's not saying, because you can look at it in the negative and think, oh, therefore I can't braid my hair, I can't wear fine clothes and pearls. No, it's saying you can do that, but the emphasis on that, which makes you attractive, is not what it's about. It's the emphasis on a beautiful spirit and a beautiful character is what makes a woman beautiful. And it glorifies God. It causes men to go, isn't God good? Whereas when they're seductive, they are, in a way, caused to think of women in the way that they shouldn't. And so it's actually not glorifying God. And then it talks about, us submitting one to another and women submitting to their husbands. And it's not a slavic thing, it's a thing out of love and respect. And then there's other things around our speech and our conduct. It's like the wife of a noble character, she had the way she conducted herself and the way she spoke, and her manners were trustworthy, and wisdom came out of her lips. So there's a lot of our women in the Bible, especially in Proverbs, about better to be living up on the roof than have a nagging wife. And because in a lot of ways we're very good communicators. On average, women, they speak more, 3 times. I think it's 3 times more than a man in a day. Generally, we speak more. So that's why we have a power in communication and a power in speech, and that can make us clever in a lot of ways. And so we're to use our speech and our conduct in a way that's respectful and loving. That talked about the contrast was a woman who was an adulteress and she seduced that man. That was in Proverbs 7. She was defiant and disrespectful. She had hostility and aggressiveness, and she was cunning. She wanted her own way. So when it comes to being submissive to our own husbands, not to every man, but it is, in a sense, not having an argumentative, quarrelling way about us where we demand our own way. And we're coming from the wrong spirit. It's combative and it's disrespectful. And generally that just doesn't work for us as women. Because if you're moving in the opposite spirit of love and respect, you may feel that sometimes people aren't listening to you, or you don't have the power to be listened to, but you have the power in your submission and trust in the Lord, that then He makes a way for you. And if there's something the Lord wants you to say, He'll make the way. So that's that in a nutshell, and we'll definitely go into detail about the other scriptures, but that's what I wanted to look at today. Because often, even in Christian circles, we go to church and it's all often about women being beautiful and having nice things and looking beautiful on the outside, and wow, look how wonderful you look and look how pretty you are. Whereas really, what would be appropriate was, I love the way you love that person there. I love the way you let that person go first. I love the way you lifted that person up and praise them. I love the way you were kind. I love the way you were gentle. I love the way you didn't answer back and get angry when somebody treated you badly, the way you were forgiving. So that's the sort of stuff that the Lord encourages, and that's the sort of stuff that's lasting. Like it says, beauty is fleeting, but the genuine, kind and gentle spirit is eternal. Okay, well that's all for today, and I will see you next time. Okay, and then we will talk about this more in the chat room. Bye for now.